Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So it's been a minute since I have been on my podcast. So, hi. I know I am live at the moment, and I'll wait for a few people to perhaps tune in. Um, this is Real Talk, Karen Stacy. And I just decided to kind of jump on here and wing it a little bit, which I do often in life. And I was inspired, as I am a lot of times, by posts I see on social media, which will invoke emotions that make me say, all right, I think that's something I should talk about. So I haven't done my show in a minute. And, I'm blessed to have people that have followed me and that say these amazing things. Like, I don't get to see or listen to your show live all the time, but sometimes when I go out and I smoke my cigarette, on my breaks, I listen to your show and I smile, or it makes me laugh, or it makes me think, or it helps me get through the day. And I think at the end of the day, those things matter, because helping other people is a gift and a blessing if you're able to do it. That's why I am consistently inconsistent sometimes with my shows, because I feel like when I'm not where I need to be, who am I to start, yapping it up, and other people are listening to me? So I don't pretend to be, an officiant on anything, to be honest with you. I'm just real. I say it like it is. I've been through a lot. And I just kind of get on here and start talking and hope I'm inspiring others. Or at least, if I'm not inspiring you, that maybe at least you are not alone and you don't feel alone in what you're going through. So I see some people are joining in. Good morning and thank you. We can go interactive on here. I just wanted to, and please don't forget to hit that follow button if you are tuned in, and share this out if you can. I saw a post today that made me think about this, and it was a fellow widow that has been going through a lot of challenges right now, adapting to her quote unquote new life. And I watch those posts and my heart goes out, because, this is my life, and I'm 8 years out in it. And I'm just like, I reflect a lot on pain. So the question, well, not the question, but the thing that she posted was, I need distractions. I need to move away. I need another job. I need to do this. I need to do that, so that I don't, I'm distracted from my life. And I think a lot of us do that, right? We try to get distracted from our lives. But the problem is that if you get distracted from your life is still there, right? So, we do that in many ways, right? So I'm the first person to say, like, I got distracted because I went out and I was drinking until I didn't feel nothing anymore. And I was out all the time, because being quiet in your own head sucks, right? So, people would say, oh, how do you go here? How do you go there? How do you do this? How do you do that? And, the truth of the matter is that you can't escape your life. Your life is there and it's going to follow you, whether you like it or not. So, I'm not, condoning, I mean, listen, if you can do it and not do it with bad behavior, then God bless you, right? So my bad behavior was, I drank, and I was out and I tried to be around people because I just didn't want to hear my own thoughts. And I thought that was the right thing to do because who the hell knows what the right thing is to do, right? So then I realized as I was doing all of this that it wasn't really working. And then I went the opposite direction and I became like a hermit. Well, don't forget, COVID certainly helped that situation, right? Because you had no choice but to be home. So, I learned to be alone in my thoughts, which I'm not sure if that's even like the right thing to do either, right? Because either you're avoiding them or you're stuck in them. So, like, where is the middle ground? What the hell do you do? Because you're sitting there and you don't know which way to go, right? So, the answer isn't in the bottom of the bottle. And the answer also isn't sitting alone in a room. So, how do you find that happy medium? Where do you go? What do you do? And yes, I understand we can all sit there and talk about, I mean, obviously therapy is a good way to go. Obviously, you can read books, you can exercise, you can find things that will put you in a better mental, place. But, when your heart is broken, your heart is broken. And I'm no expert on anything, trust me when I tell you, but I don't really think there's a remedy to a broken heart. And that goes out to everybody, right? So if you lose a loved one, whether it's a parent, whether it's, God forbid, a child, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a best friend, whether it's a sibling, there's no remedy for a broken heart. If you lose somebody, the only thing that you can do is try to push through it, right? And nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear about grief. Nobody wants to look on social media and see that you're in pain, because then what are they going to say? And then, they don't want to be around you because you're a miserable and yada, yada, right? So then you start to, kind of become recluse because you realize that, people don't want to listen to your shit, because they got their own problems and they don't want to listen to your problems. And unfortunately, what's the remedy to your problem? You have a broken heart. How do you fix a broken heart? Right? Isn't there a song like that? How do you mend a broken heart? I won't sing and really lose all of my listeners. But it's the truth, there is, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. If there's anybody listening right now that can help me with that or can comment if you're catching this on the replay, how do you fix a broken heart? They say time heals all wounds. Okay. I think it would take eternity. So I don't know. I think time just allows you to learn how to live with it. I don't think it heals the broken heart. I think you just learn how to move forward, right? And so that's the tricky part. How do you move forward? And there are times that I'm doing really good and I move forward and I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then there are other times I'm like, wow, like, what the hell is wrong with you, woman? Like, get it together. And the only thing I can say to that, and I can say to people, is be kind to yourself, because life is not easy. And some of us have been through hell and back, and we keep on keeping on, right? But like, we're tough on ourselves, right? And you can't do that because life is tough enough. And just because you're tough on yourself, it doesn't make it easier on you, right? So be kind to yourself. If you did some bad stuff yesterday that you really ain't proud of, today's a new day. And trust me, we've all lived there, right? I wake up at 3:00 in the morning, my heart's pounding out of my chest, and I go, Jesus, what did I say? What did I do? Why did I do that? Blah, blah, blah. And you go through that and you beat yourself up for it. And what does that accomplish? Nothing. I mean, the only thing it can accomplish is maybe don't do it again. Right? So that's what I say to myself. Okay, so maybe, you could have done without that last drink or two. So, next time, how about you don't do that? Maybe you could have not said what you said. So maybe try not to do that next time. But guess what? When you have a broken heart and somebody is standing there and listening to you, sometimes you say things that you probably shouldn't, but you just do it because I don't know, I guess you need to. And I I have realized that other people don't want to hear it. So I tell myself, don't do that, but we do inevitably sometimes. So I guess the moral of the story is you can run, but you can't hide, because at the end of the day, when you put your head down on the pillow, there is silence. And unless you've done something to make yourself pass out at night, all of the demons, they come out to play at that time. And it's not easy. So I worked with and did a show with Donna, who was one of she's a healer. And she told me about, letting the sword go through. And basically, what that means is when you are in pain, a lot of us have the sword inside of us, and we're afraid to just let it pass through. And unfortunately, the only way that you can heal is by letting the sword pass through, meaning feeling that pain. Because most of us will try to heal with the sword still in us because we just don't want to feel another moment of pain. But I sat with her and she did it with me, and it was like a visualization type of thing. And it was really painful. I actually passed out after I did it, but I felt very differently afterwards. So what I mean by that is stop trying to avoid the pain because you're feeling it regardless. And will you ever heal a broken heart? Will you ever mend a broken heart? I don't know the answer to that, but in my opinion, no. You will just repair it enough that you can keep going and hopefully strengthen it as life goes on. But if you don't allow yourself to feel that pain, then you will never be able to move forward. So it's just like, people that get divorced, or they're in like, these bad relationships where they were abused or whatever the case, right? And so, the next person that comes into your life, it may not be that same person, but you're already got your guard up because this is what you're accustomed to because you never healed. So you have to heal from your past in order to move into a future. And again, healing is relative, right? But what I mean is you can't run away. You have to sit in silence. You have to allow yourself those days or whatever amount of time you need to feel what you're feeling and to work through those emotions. And don't be afraid to reach out to people. Some of us need to be alone. I know I need to be alone a lot of times. I need the quiet, I need the silence, and I need to be away from other people because I can't carry their emotions with me. So I do pull back a lot, which is why, and I'm real. So I'm not going to come on here and start talking to you and trying to tell you like, hey, let's try this when I can't even do it myself. So, I don't perpetrate the fraud. And I'm not, it's hard, and I send much love and light out to all of you that are struggling. And I know a lot of people, this is the type of show that I'll do where people will listen, they won't comment, but it will be in the back of their minds. And this is the one that when I go live, people will jump on and they'll jump off because it's too heavy. And that's why I put in the title talking about real life shit, because this is real life shit, and you can avoid and you can, pretend, and you can post stuff on social media. You could come off like you're a certain way. And you know what? God bless you. Fake it till you make it. Okay. And in some respects, yes, you do need to fake it till you make it. But you also can't fake it to yourself. You can't pretend that you are living your best life when you're avoiding life, right? So I keep it real. I say it like it is. This ain't easy. It sucks. And anybody that has gone through this, and all of us have gone through it. All of us have gone through loss, and nobody likes to talk about it. Nobody wants to hear that you're still grieving. People probably look at me like I'm nuts because I lost my husband 8 years ago. Well, you know what? If you don't have the capacity to love with all your heart, then you won't understand this. But guess what? I do. So therefore, I am still there. And I sadly think I will always still be here. And anybody that knows me will know that. Does it mean that my heart isn't big enough to, push forward? Absolutely not. And I do push forward. And, some days are good and some days aren't. But my point is that in life, you can visit, but you can't stay when it comes to that type of pain. So, I don't know the right answers. Everybody's sweet spot is different, right? But I do know that avoidance is definitely not the right way to go. And when you're in the thick of it, it's very hard. It's overwhelming. And I feel that way more than I don't. And I think a lot of us in the world feel very overwhelmed, with anything, right? Like if you haven't cleaned your house and now it's time to clean your house, you're overwhelmed. Where do I start? This freaking house is a mess. How do I do this, right? And it's one room at a time, one corner at a time. And I guess that's how life is too. It's just 1 second at a time. And when you've been through hell and back, if you get through that second, then you'll get through 2 seconds. Then you'll get through 3 seconds. And next thing you know, you'll be at 10 seconds and so forth. And that's really it. It's baby steps. So, for those of you out there that are just like, I don't freaking know. I get it. I don't freaking know either. But what I do know is that it's one step at a time. You're going to fall, you're going to get up. You got to ride the waves. And sometimes the waves will knock you down, and other times the waves will push you forward. So, don't give up. You're not alone. And honestly, if you're in a bad place, reach out and get some help, whether you need a little bit of counseling, whether you need maybe medication to help you through the next stages of your life. Don't be embarrassed and don't feel defeated or less than, because this is not easy. Life is not easy. And we have all battled obstacles that have definitely knocked us on our ass. So if you are blessed enough to have people in your life that put a hand out and want to help you get up, please take advantage of that as well. But also be aware of how, I hate to sound like this, but be aware of how needy you are. Because sometimes somebody will reach out a hand to you, and instead of you just grabbing their hand, you grab them, their whole bodies, and you pull them down with you. And that's not okay either. So you have to recognize where you are. And if you're pulling a little bit too much, you need to, balance yourself, because it's not fair. Other people are here to help, but they can't fix you. You have to fix you. And if they can hold your hand along the way and help you through it, then you are very blessed. But just be aware of yourself so that you do not pull others down. And instead of you having people there for you, they all run away from you, right? So, and I've done that too. So I guess, like I said, the point of this little podcast today is, don't give up. You are not alone. There are plenty of people that are going through the same type of pain that you are. Be kind to others, because you never know what someone else is going through. and, do your best to help. And sometimes we don't have the capacity to help others because we're trying to help ourselves, and that's okay too. And I'm going to leave you with the analogy that I always put into my mind. When you're on an airplane and they say if the cabin pressure changes, the masks will come down. Put the mask on yourself before helping others. Meaning, if you don't put the mask on yourself, then you can't help anybody else. If you put the mask on someone else, then you will help that person and you will not help yourself nor the other people that you may be able to help. So that's how I live my life, is remembering that I need to put the mask on myself first. And once that mask is on me and I can breathe, I can help other people to breathe too. So remember that, okay? And I'm sending you out love and light, and you are not alone. And I'll talk to you soon. I love you guys.